Whitehaven, the visitors this afternoon. Keighley Cougars taking the field. At the moment, their team this afternoon, Wayne Race at fullback, John Basilow, Nick Pinkney, Greg Austin and Andy Stevenson, the three quarters. Keith Dixon and Darren Appleby at the half-backs, Brendan Hill, Paul Moses, Ian Gately, Carlton Farrell, Steve Hall and Martin Wood, the forwards. Andy Ayres and Phil Stevenson, the substitutes. And for Whitehaven, David Lightfoot, fullback, Sean Tyler, David Seeds, Michael Petchy and John Routledge, the three quarters. Mark Beckwith and Clayton Friend, the half-backs, Kurt Sorensen, Paul Creary, Dave Kendall, Graham Luthwaite, Billy Fisher and Graham Morton, the forwards. Gary Hetherington and Reg Dunn, the substitutes, and the
we got to number 7 down.
Referee this afternoon, Alan Burke from Oldham, and Dave Milburn and David Nathan on the touchlines. Certainly going to be a very keenly fought contest this afternoon, I feel, Darrell, because this match last season, it was the first time that Keighley were beaten on their own soil. Whitehaven were the people to do it, and certainly a psychological barrier for Keighley this afternoon, and also marking the quarter mark in the season with a break next week, giving a launch of a platform for the promotion prospects for both sides.
Yeah, John, it should be a good game. And like you said, Whitehaven came down here last season and won. They shouldn't play too much importance on that. Both sides have changed considerably. It's a matter of getting the ball out wide, like we keep saying, playing the football, sticking to the game plan, and hopefully snubbing these Whitehaven people out.
The referee for today, looking very smart.
Okay then, so everything ready to start this game.
Just a little bit of crawling for you.
Interesting competition, I would think, in the front row between the two big number 8s. Brendan Hill for Keighley and Kurt Sorensen, recently from Widnes. Now Whitehaven's player coach in the 8 jersey for Whitehaven. Already then, it's Keighley won the toss, electing to play up the slope here at Cougar Park. And Whitehaven to get the game underway. Deep kick there into the Keighley 10-metre area. Carlton Farrell taken up top very early doors. In fact, Mr. Burke calling him out very quickly. Now then, there's one thing for sure. Alan Burke, the referee, has traditionally been very, very keen on this. Anything shoulder and above. There was one match, Darrell, where he actually sent 6 players off in the same game for just that.
Yeah, once you start, John, sending them off for high tackles, you keep on going.
Keith Dixon then putting that penalty safely into touch. 5 metres inside his own half. Moses gets the play underway again. It's Gately running in. Plays the ball again, Moses, across the field through Appleby's hands into Steve Hall. Steve Hall wearing the 12 shirt today instead of 15. Filling the gap left, in fact, by Kevin Marr. Big drive forward there by Brendan Hill. And certainly picked out his opposite number to drive at. As Moses through Appleby onto Dixon. Dixon, nice quick hands there to Gately, and that's another high tackle. And number 4 this time, the man, Michael Petchy, the Australian. And certainly Mr. Burke very, very quickly on the spot there. Keeping the two sides apart, and I believe he's going to call Mr. Petchy out for a quick word. Stops the clock as he does so.
Stop the clock for 2 reasons, John. One, while there's a quiet word with Mr. Petchy, and also Ian Gately to come round. No point in giving a penalty straight away and getting the game underway with Keighley only having 12 men. While he's doing it, if he ain't going to send him off, he's going to slow the game down and give time to let Ian Gately come round.
John Basilow, meanwhile, being called in to attempt to get a couple of points on the board. Early dose for Keighley. That kick, as you can see from the markings on the field, right on the 30-metre line.
Greg, they're stacking, so call for wide. Go forward and call wide, they're stacking in.
John Basilou then steps up, strikes the ball through the centre. The indiscretion penalty, penalised yet again.
Johnny Basilou.
Well, just 2 penalties in this game so far. The game just 3 minutes old. And both those penalties being given for tackle around the head. Again, the same kick-off. This time it's Carlton Farrell on the receiving end. Driving out towards his own 10-metre line. Martin Wood then just taking play almost back to the 20-metre line for Keighley. Moses waits, acting half. Misses out Gately, misses out Steve Hall rather. Steve Hall, as I was saying earlier, replacing the injured Kevin Marr. Looked a bit forward there to Brendan, but a nice offload there to Darren Appleby. Darren Appleby, though, stitched up there by number 10, Dave Kendall, and it's back to the left boot of Keith Dixon, looking for the top touch line. It's going to go in. Certainly a good touch finder. And just a little bit worried at the moment about Ian Gately, Daryl. He's walking very, very slowly back, obviously feeling that tackle.
Yeah, I think he is, John. Let's keep out of the game for a minute or two, bring yourself round, sort yourself out, and it should be okay after that.
Out then to Whitehaven. Full-back Dave Lightfoot plays that ball. But it's Dixon there, having to do the stopping with Ian Gately. Looked like it might have been John Routledge, the wingman. That for sure is Billy Fisher with the headgear on. And out this side. Well met there by Brendan Hill. Well finished off by Greg Austin. Dave Kendall again. Here comes the kick, high in the air. Going out on the full, no, on the line. Well, looked on the line to me, Donald.
Looked to be on the line to me and all, John, but the touch just says no, so it's come down, Keighley had the ball.
456 FAY, a Ford Fiesta B824 UTT, Ford Granada D166 VNO, Ford Fiesta K3775GX, Citroen E459 YRM.
Referee just having a few words with the scrum before it goes down. In there and out to Keighley. Dixon stepping back inside Keith Dixon. Put down by Mark Beckwith. Steve Hall this time, running across the angles across the field. Moses onto Carlton Farrell. Carlton Farrell, I think, starting his first game this season, being on the bench. Don't think he's started a game before, as Brendan Hill now takes play up that touchline side, 15 metres inside the Whitehaven half of the field. Appleby misses out Gately onto Austin. Austin delays the pass from Wayne Race. Wayne Race still going out to John Basilou, but a forward pass, says Mr. Burke. He was on the line, and it certainly looked forward from our angle up here, although Mr. Burke absolutely straight in line with that. Certainly a good break up this side, offering an opportunity, showing that the Whitehaven defence can be beaten out wide, but they can't be beaten in the scrum on that occasion because it's out their side. Mark Beckwith, the man tackled just outside his own 20-metre area.
Just a point here, John. Nick Pinckney's pinching yards. I think Callan's gone across to have a look at him.
We shall see. Point being made there by Daddle that the Keighley centre just pinching the odd yard out wide at the play of the ball. Meantime, it's Whitehaven almost back to the halfway line. Referee again, just a quick cursory glance left and right. Ball goes back to Sean Tyrer there for the boot to be applied. And Wayne Race picks the ball on the bounce, comes away. Sorensen misses the first attempt to the tackle, but how well the big fella got down there to do the chasing. This is Stevenson though, bursting his way through the centre of the defence, hits the 20-metre line. And it's Moses now onto Appleby, bringing on Ian Gately. The big fella half recovered there, but certainly got a welcome back into the game by Paul Creary, the hooker on loan from Barrow. And Appleby steps through the hole. He's got Dixon in support. Dixon's going. He's got support to Aston. Oh, Aston's going. Big Aston's going. What a lovely try there by Keighley. It came out of nothing. And really it was a break from inside their own half where Appleby rather stepped through the hole. Keith Dixon in support. And the rest is history.
Yeah, once they've gone through there, John, from up here we could see that the whole gap was wide open there. Once Devon gone through there, he fed everybody on, and Greg, with nobody in front of him at all, straight under. Excellent try.
Certainly a tremendous finish there by Rocket Man Greg Austin.
Rocket Man Greg Austin, Cougar try.
John Basilou then, he's got the task of converting that one from right in front of the post. There's one or two questions being asked between the Whitehaven players on behind as Basilou adds the extras. 8 points to 0, keep the lead then with 9 minutes on the clock.
Look out, Clint Eastwood, Johnny Basilou's around. Kicking for you.
So then it's Sean Tyrer restarting once more, the right boot to the same position in the field, the same man on the end of it, Carlton Farrell. Driving in up towards his own 20, it's Sorensen, the man doing the tackling. Steve Hall coming in this time. Valuable yardage gain there by Steve Hall. What a cracking match he had last week at Doncaster. What a cracking game this fella's had in the 4 matches so far that he's been at Keighley. Penalty there by Mr. Burke against Whitehaven for laying on in the tackle. Whitehaven player there just receiving some attention on the 30-metre line behind where the Keighley hunting pack is formed. Oh, that's not the best of kicks. Looking for a little bit too extra length there was Keith before as the ball punted upfield, putting Keighley under a little bit of pressure and certainly taking the pressure off Whitehaven. And a penalty there, this time against Keighley. Paul Moses for just pushing down. He'd made the tackle and he was just wanting to make sure he was going down again to presumably, as is always the case, that'll give his defence a chance to get back in line.
Yeah, that's all it was, John. Tackle complete before Paul came in.
Briefest of comments this afternoon from Darrell. Had a hard game yesterday, refereeing, doing a lot of talking. That's surprising to the players on the park. He's lost his voice. But I'm sure we should be getting the cryptic comment from time to time.
What flew.
And again a mistake there by Sorensen. It's big Brendan Hill, loses the ball. The referee says it was a knock on after consulting with the touch judge on the far side. Good decision there. Certainly the ball was dropped or went out of the hands of Brendan Hill. Mr. Burke used his touch judges there, or his touch judge I should say, who immediately indicated a drop ball. Whitehaven then bringing the ball downfield. On out of the tackle there, Greg missing the tackle on his opposite number 4, an Australian, Michael Petchy. Friend getting the ball out there to Graham Morton, the loose forward, 10 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. Paul Creary bringing on Dave Kendall down this close side. Friend again, running across the face of play, looking for the opening and finding his partner, the half-back partner, Mark Beckwith. 25 metres out from the Keighley line as the ball going over. Friend wrapped up there by, or stopped I should say, by Martin Wood. Still in the middle of the field. It's the last tackle coming up as indicated by Mr. Burke. And Tyra's just going to pump, I beg your pardon, it's Beckwith putting that ball downfield straight over the dead ball line. It's a tap restart. And certainly, Darrell, you were suggesting the way the play had been stacked then that they were going to come back to this side. Instead they stuck it in the centre.
Yeah, it looked like it, John. They'd overloaded this side. They had Keighley for numbers down the short side here. I couldn't understand why they went back.
But go back they did, and Paul Moses wrapped up 10 metres from the halfway line. Dixon at acting half back onto Appleby. Appleby rings on Carlton Farrell. Carlton just dips into the tackle, but well brought down by Billy Fisher. Onto the halfway line, Ian Gately certainly proving a bit of a handful for these Whitehaven defenders on occasions, and certainly being on the receiving end of some heavy tackles as Austin then pumps the ball upfield into touch 10 metres from the Whitehaven line. We'll go to scrum then on that line. It's a Whitehaven head and feed. And still Ian Gately coming back quite slowly towards this scrum. Never in the best of hurries, never in a great hurry at the best of times, Ian, when he's walking, but certainly seems to be a little bit slower than normal. Clayton Friend then feeds this scrum out the back to Whitehaven. Beckwith meets an absolute posse of Keighley defenders there as he tries to get through. Friend again. Now this time it's Billy Fisher. A penalty there for in the head area. We said earlier, Mr. Burke very, very keen on anything shoulders and above. Never mind neck and above. It's shoulders with him. As we've said so often before, we've no problem with that as long as referees are consistent and players understand why they're being penalised. Not the best of distant kicks, but Tyra certainly making sure the ball went into touch. Sorensen coming through for the charge, but brought down well there by Moses. Friend, that ball being carried very low there by Dave Kendall. Almost in an area where he may well have lost it. Crawling all over Steve Hall as he tries to get up. Friend again out to Beckwith on the far side. The numbers possibly. Petchy half past that ball and hung back onto it. Hung onto the legs by Appleby. And Appleby in. Misses that tackle though as the dodging was going on. 5 metres inside the Keighley half. Clayton Friend chips over the top. Ian Gately takes it. Taken round the head again. And certainly Ian Gately's been well picked out for this, but all right, it was a tackle from behind, but it attacked the head. Congratulations, Mr. Burke. Keep up the good work. Consistency is the name of the game when it comes to applying rules, and certainly 15 minutes into the game, we've had 5 penalties already for tackles around the head. And nobody can complain about that. The rule's there to protect the player. Clock just stops temporarily as we wait for a ball coming on. One on the field, not sure where the ones are down this touchline side. I think both ball boys outside the ground looking for the last two that went out. Referee wipes the clock off. Moses gets play underway, misses out Martin Wood. Steve Hall taking the first drive, getting within 5 metres of the halfway line. Struggling to get away from those 3 Whitehaven tacklers. Big Brendan Hill going through the centre again, looking to offload. Barged to the ground by Dave Clayton. He's the number 10 for Whitehaven. And Moses out to Gately. Gately again striding through, offloads to Moses. Paul Moses does extremely well, sniffing up the trouser leg there of Ian Gately for the ball. An attempted drop goal there by Darren Appleby. Well, Darren, not the best of attempted drop goals, but certainly one that went there. Knock on there. So we've got a scrum just outside the 20.
Right, thank our sponsors today, Watkinson's Lifting and Transportation Firm. But only thanks to Watkinson.
Friend on to Routledge. Routledge, I beg your pardon, Beckwith. Just outside the 20-metre area.
I'd like to thank the ball sponsor, Crossroads Inn, and ABS Body Services.
And loose forward, Graham Morton certainly bouncing off the would-be tacklers of Keighley there, getting to almost to the halfway line before being brought down eventually. Billy Fisher taking the ball into the Keighley half of the field. Gets up, plays that ball across the field, through the hands of Friend on this side now. Petchy missed the game by Greg Austin. He's got support outside as Petchy looked a bit forward. John Vasilou given the opportunity to drop on the ball, but the referee there waiting for the advantage calls the forward pass, but really Daryl, that was a bad miss by Greg on his opposite number 4.
Very bad miss, John, yeah. Yeah, bring that YF number 4, lift his head now. I think, well, I've got him once, I'll get him again. Greg should have taken him there, it wasn't a particularly hard tackle.
John Vasilou, meanwhile, on the receiving end of that ball from the back of the Cougar pack. Steve Hall once more coming upfield, gets to the 30-metre line before being brought down. Martin Wood over the far side. Not seen too much of Martin in the attack so far in this game, but certainly I think Keith have been doing a lot of defending as well. They've got 8 points on the board, but certainly, although they've had plenty of ball, it's been in their own half of the field. But nice offload there, originally from Brendan Hill. Appleby the man getting into the Warriors half of the field as Whitehaven are now known. On to Pinckney. Pinckney steps to the right, steps again, steps inside the wingman, but not able to get away from it. The last one coming up, says Mr. Burke. We're 30 metres out from the Whitehaven line as Keith Dixon puts the ball high in the air. It's in the air. Keith's put them all onside. The fullback makes a mess of it, and I think the referee penalising Steve Hall there for interfering before with the man coming for the ball, using the arm and the elbow possibly, and the touch judge just coming on, I think possibly Darrell, to confirm what he said, although he's perhaps calling the Keighley player out, is he? No. Stopping the clock while the injured person's dealt with, but in fact he's calling out a Whitehaven player and a Keighley player. We shall see what happens. Referee just looking for round to see which Keighley player it is he's going to call out. They've all got numbers on the back, Alan, and it looks in fact as though it's Brendan who's been called out. Well, all I can think really, Darrell, this is just going to introduce the 2 big number 8s to each other.
Yeah, they probably met head on once or twice, John, you know. Touch judge just seen something that he hadn't liked, and Alan Burke sort of saying, calm yourselves down, otherwise I'll sort you out myself.
Well, the afternoon pleasantries taken care of there between the 2 8s. They've been formally introduced by the referee. And that ball now outside the ground, just inside the Whitehaven half of the field. Friend, 2 men running, being missed out as the play comes to the halfway line. Again outside. Loose forward Morton as we get to the 20-minute stage in this first half. The kick goes through, it struck Dixon on the boot. Interesting to see what happened. No advantage, says the referee. Ball going away there, looked as though a couple of Keighley defenders hadn't realised the ball had gone, tackling the man in possession. The ball coming out then to this wing. Michael Peachy there, tackled well by John Vasilou, and it's Friend with the ball out there to number 11, Lewthwaite. Graham Lewthwaite looks, gets round, puts the ball up high. Wayne Race underneath it, safe as you like, but still can't get away from the man who did the kicking. Graham Lewthwaite, the only one who followed the ball up. From the Whitehaven point of view, Stevenson breaking through the centre of the field. If only Paul had called for the ball there, I feel sure he'd have been away, and the touch judge on from the far side of the field. He's going to stand there. He ain't moving from the spot. He's got to stop there. Referee hasn't stopped play yet. He hasn't seen the touch judge. He's still standing in his place. Carlton Farrell driving in. The last tackle, the referee now seeing the touch judge on the far side, holding up play there, some 3 tackles going through. Well, I don't know what he saw, Daryl, I didn't see anything.
No, I don't either, John, but I ain't bothered because he came on decisively straight away and he stood his ground. I don't mind. He's going to make a decision now and Alan's going to back him on whatever decision he made, and that's what you want. You want decisiveness in these officials. You don't mind really. It should be a penalty to Keighley because Keighley's had the ball. Now he's going to call somebody out here from whitehaven.
Well, whatever he's doing, whatever he's going to do, yes, Daryl, I've got to back up what you're saying there. The touch judge very, very positive in what he did. He came on the field and he stood his ground for 3, maybe even 4 tackles. Clayton Friend, the man he's calling out. Obviously the touch judge saw something that we didn't see, maybe the camera caught it. And certainly a long little talk there from the referee to Clayton Friend. And he's just having a quick look at the touch judge, no doubt possibly doubting his parentage for reporting him. But play pulled back to the halfway line where the offence took place. The referee says it was for punching. I think Clayton Friend just a bit astounded that the touch judge on the far side had got such good eyesight. Moses then bringing on Hall rather Ian Gately driving into that tackle and certainly been well dealt with by the Whitehaven defence. Moses once more, Appleby onto Hall driving in 10 metres from those Whitehaven posts and the try line. The crowd sends something on here. Moses switches play, Appleby running across the face. Nick Pinkney half away, and in! Oh, what a good fighting try by Nick Pinkney that was. He worked very hard for it. But what a lovely switch of play in the centre field, Darryl.
Yeah, it's a good switch there. Keith knew what they were doing. They knew they had a little gap out wide. Nick didn't get through the first gap, but he kept turning round. And he kept going through and going forward. And eventually found the try line. Down it went.
Certainly weak tackling or very strong centre play, whichever way you want to look at it. I would go for the latter personally. Very Nick Pinkney, very strong player. And certainly very keen to hit that whitewash when he can see it in his vision. Nice try there by Nick. And we've got 24 minutes on the clock.
Nick Pinkney, the Pink Panther. Good try!
John Vassalou then inches from that touch line. He's put that ball down. Certainly a good strike of the ball. The boot firmly hitting it, but not through the post, just to the left-hand side of them. Nonetheless, that sees Keighley into double figures. Substitution, double substitution for Whitehaven. Kurt Sorensen bringing Reg Dunn on. In fact, I thought he was double. They had 2 boards up, but of course number 15's not on the field, or he wasn't then, so it's Reg Dunn for Kurt Sorensen.
That's a good move, is that, for Keighley, because obviously Kurt will be looking to use his slope. So if he comes back on in the second half, he'll be way up the hill, so he might find it a bit hard.
Carlton Farrell just doing a bit of a juggling act with the ball over his own try line there, but securing it and getting a good valuable 10 metres away. Paul Moses, I don't think quite ready for the ball being played quite as quickly as Carlton played it there, but nonetheless again managed to secure the ball. And Brendan Hill driving up the hill outside the 20 metres, and it's Appleby. Ian Gately just a little bit too far away to have effected that first one. Not the best to play the balls there, and certainly not the best set of 6, although the ball has been secured up to the 30 metre line. Reg Dunn just saying hello to Paul Moses there. Nice kick there by Dixon. gone touch and goal, unfortunately. It's a tap restart on the 20.
Reset.
Need to set the defence back up here very quickly, because Friend, I would have thought, would have been anxious to get the play underway, but Paul Creary, the hooker, them given the opportunity or the task of restarting, and Keighley pushing the Whitehaven defenders back towards their own 20-metre line. Break out there by Billy Fisher. Reg Dunn down this touchline side, inside there to Dunn. Dunn tackle there, ball well intercepted by Greg Austin. He's got Moses inside him. I don't think Greg expected getting that ball. He certainly did, though. He didn't see Paul Moses in support. On the 20-metre line then of Whitehaven, Moses onto Martin Wood, out then to Dixon. Dixon, a long ball out to Pinckney. They've got the numbers of Keighley. Wayne Race in the line, out then to Pinckney again. Pinckney overlaps with Stevenson. Stevenson gets to the 10-metre line, just inside before being tackled. Keighley had the numbers momentarily there. Brendan Hill, in again! Brendan Hill, ever supporting on the outside, the favourite of the crowd at Cougar Park, does it again. He waves the finger in the air. And nobody can stop that fella so close to the line. And I think Whitehaven, Darrell, are just a little bit shell-shocked at the moment.
Yes, they are, John. But that was a good wicket try there by Brendan. He saw the gap out wide. For a big fella, we realised a lot of running for him to do. Bearing in mind, Keighley's come from this bottom touchline here all the way across, and he went out onto the wing, supporting play and scored a yard from corner flag. Good try.
Good old Brendan, boy. King of the swingers. Are you watching, Magnet? We need a few quid.
That comment, of course, being made, Keighley requiring the cash to sign Brendan Hill on a permanent basis, put out the appeal, and who can really resist the appeal that Keighley have put out when you see play like that. John Vasilow then again from a few inches further in from that touchline side. The crowd say they like it, the touch judges agree, the crowd in the screen with the man with 14 on the shirt, and Carlton Farrell's arms certainly being tested this afternoon for his catching ability. So far not let the side down. Stevenson going on his own, as he's so accustomed to doing from that acting half position on the second drive. Moses finding that man again. In search of the halfway line is Brendan Hill. Out then to Appleby, on to Gately. Gately stepping inside, turning as he does so. I beg your pardon, I just had Dave Milburn on as the substitute. Dave, of course, is on the touchline side. One of the touch judges, Gary Hetherington, the man, is the substitute. And replacing Billy Fisher. Get it right. Last tackle coming up, says Mr. Burke, as Dixon puts that ball through on the floor into the arms of Tyler on that far wing. So, I beg your pardon, John Routledge on that far wing. Gets the ball away through Clayton Friend. Fullback David Lightfoot. And that substitute, Reg Dunn. Reg Dunn, of course, more used to a first team spot on the field to start with than the substitute spot. But there he is today, and a big hit there by Brendan Hill. And I don't think the Whitehaven player liked it, and certainly the Whitehaven bench don't like that. They don't like being tackled, but that was what was happened with. But I have to say they're a lot further nearer than we are. The good kick there by Friend, I think. John Vasilow, though, taking it well, coming upside. Good ground there, super play there by John Vasilow. Keith Dixon just kicking him up the backside, telling him to let's get on with it quickly. Wayne Race 10 metres inside the opposition half. Certainly excellent play there by John Vasilow, being criticised for his running out of the ball in the past, but good play there. Martin Wood, half step, sees the gap. Greg Austin onto the flyer. Pinckney half taken down the head by winger Routledge, but 10 metres out. And Moses steps, throws Clayton Friend all over the place. Darren Appleby going through the centre of the ball, lost in the tackle, a knock on over the line. It's a a tap. The knock-on took place this side of the dead ball line. Darryl, you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Yeah, they knocked on this side of the line, John, but the ball went dead. And the greatest advantage then, you cannot penalise the defending side. So the greatest advantage is to give a tap 20 because Keighley have taken the ball dead.
OK, I accept the fact that the ball had been knocked on and there's no advantage to Whitehaven, and Keighley actually touched the ball down in the in-goal area, which presumably is the same as being dead. OK, I understand it now. I hope everybody else does. Congratulations once again, Mr. Burke. Friend then going outside there. Pinkney, the man doing the tackling. Just a slight touch there by Brendan Hill, slowing him down. Gary Hetherington offloads inside there to standoff Mark Beckwith on the Keighley 20-metre line. Friend putting the ball, searching for it, might be deep, but taken on the full there by John Basilou inside his own try line area. It's a tap restart on the 20 to Keighley. The bomb being defused. The bomb defused inside the try area. And so it's Moses gets the ball onto Steve Hall to restart for a new set of 6 for Keighley. Carlton Farrell being brought on this time to do the second one. Within sight of the halfway whitewash. Moses again. Appleby this time runs down with Moses. Keith Dixon going with him. Brought back. The referee says that was the chest. Red's done. The man quite correct as well from our angle as Martin Wood almost put through the hole there, but the referee spots the fact that the ball was forward, Martin Wood. And I think, Dalla, we've really got to comment just a little bit while there's a lull on Martin's haircut. I don't know who his barber is, but I know a guy that can sort him out, do you?
Yeah, you want something sorting out there, John. Yeah, it's gone down to Wood there, as you can say.
But light-heartedness then, well, the ball gets back into play. His friend then comes on the short side. Gets the ball out then to Tyler. On, is it going in? Well, the referee says yes. The people on the terrace in there say no way, the ball was lost. But the man in black is the man with the whistle, and he said yes. He looked a long way away from that quick break, though, did Alan Burt. But it's a try, Alan.
Yeah, he had a good vision there, actually, John. The deal was a bit announced there. He went square to himself, touch line. So he kept himself his distance so that he had vision with nobody impaired any vision at all, and he thought it would try. And I must confess I did as well.
Fine, but certainly Keighley caught short there. The switch of play, customary to taking the ball inside from the scrum. Friend brought the ball on the short side and exposed Keighley defence.
Yeah, bad defence really, John. He shouldn't score down this short side at all. Certainly not from 60 yard out.
Sean Tyler then, the scorer of the try. He's got the job of kicking it, converting it, and certainly one which his father used to do regular away in his days at Wigan. Colin Tyler possibly took longer even than John Basilou in preparing for goal kicks. Certainly Sean Tyler though doesn't take quite as long, but the result's the same. It's a good kick there by Sean Tyler. And the try by him, 18 points to 6, 36 minutes on the clock. Substitute being made here. In fact, Keith Dixon coming off and Phil Stevenson taking his place.
What they'll do now probably is drop Carlton back to loose forward, and Martin will go to standoff.
No doubt we'll see. Martin Wood got the task of restarting. Keith Dixon the normal restart or kicker offer or whatever you want to call him on the bench. Friend then gets the ball out. And certainly Whitehaven have stacked the players on this short side, but take the ball back in the centre, trying to pull the Keighley defence over. as they now move the ball across. Friend gets the ball out, steps back inside though, does Standoff Beckwith. And again, well met by Brendan Hill, assisted by Stevenson. That's Phil Stevenson as Friend puts the ball down the side of the field. Wayne Race, I think, going to be happy to let the ball go into touch. He is. 2 minutes of actual running time on the clock before half-time then. Keighley currently in the lead of 18 points to 6, although I feel sure they would have liked to have gone in with that scoreboard reading 18-0, or probably more in their favour. As it is, they're going to have to be satisfied at the moment for 18-6. And the ball coming out very quickly out the back of the scrum there. Darren Appleby very slow to get round, and it's Stevenson that had to get there to pick up the bits. Wayne Race plays the ball. Paul Moses going on his own as Hall now misses out Farrell. Whoops, the ball went backwards, says the referee, as Phil Stevenson has a bit of a shaky start to the second, rather the game. Gately coming in, always difficult though, Dell, to come on a substitute in a game when it's got warmed up. You're a pace or two behind it, aren't you?
You certainly are, John, yes. You're well behind the pace of the game. And it's a fast game today, so Stevenson's struggling a little bit, but hopefully after half-time he'll be into it.
Meantime, John Basilou doing the tackling there on the Whitehaven defender as he comes away from his own line. And full-back David Lightfoot going round in a circle. Brendan Hill's tackling tremendous this afternoon. And again going in there to assist. And hurting himself as he did, the left knee or the left ankle just twisting as he went in to assist in that tackle. Reg Dunn meantime on the 20-metre line. Looked a bit forward with that pass there, but Whitehaven brought down. It's the last tackle. 6 or 7 metres inside the Whitehaven half of the ball, pushed downfield. Wayne Race underneath it on the full, takes it, steps outside, steps between the two Whitehaven players, and in fact penalised there for not playing the ball, for Wayne Race for not playing the ball, getting up and trying to gain ground. And Richard Coons come all the way around this side of the ground. He saw that Brendan Hill hurt himself, and congratulations, full marks there to Richard. Off the bench like a furret, all the way around the ground to sort Brendan out. Brendan having made his way back towards the bottom end of the ground in the meantime, but yeah, we know where the injury occurred.
Both food bars are down by the entrance at Roydins. If you want something to eat at half time, 2 food bars down by the shop.
Brendan Hill then just gets back to his feet, joins the defensive line. Meantime, the penalty will be taken.
I'm surprised that Whitehaven not gone for a goal there, John. We've up 40 minutes on the running clock. I thought they'd have had 2 points there.
Reg Dunn though, Whitehaven obviously have a different ideas. Out to Friend, they've certainly got the number, they've stacked this side strongly, but tackled well there by Darren Appleby. Ball played quickly, out to Friend. Friend offers it to the left, but gives it to the right to Hooker Creary. I beg your pardon, to his left. Offers it to the left. He was facing the wrong way, that's all. Full-back David Lightfoot coming round the back of play, stepping through, almost ghosting his way through the Keighley defence there. And it's Whitehaven again. They've got the numbers on this side. Long ball out there, touched by a Keighley hand. It's going to be back to 6 again. Touched by the Keighley hand as it went through. Here comes the substitute, Hetherington, stepping as he goes, but tackle hung on there by Stevenson. Keighley defending furiously on their own line. Don't know how long there is to go, but certainly we're well into stoppage time now. 2 minutes already played. And it's 5 metres from the line as Friend comes forward, moves the ball out through Peachy, along there to the wingman. He knocks on. Brendan Hill regathers and comes up this touchline, that far touchline side, into touch, but surely we've got to be looking at the half-time hooter going as they get another stoppage, or not as... Well, there goes the buzzer.
There you go, folks, end of part 1.
Half-time then, Keighley leading 18 points to 6 through tries by Greg Austin, Nick Pinkney, and of course, who can forget, Brendan Hill. Three goals by John Vasilou, and the reply for Whitehaven, a converted try by Sean Tyler. Everybody back on the park then. I was going to say apart from the referee, but he's on his way here. Just a reminder, the scoreline at half-time, Keighley 18, Whitehaven 6. The Cougars kicking down the slope this half. Martin Wood the man to restart the game. The Tannoy goes quiet. The crowd await the second half. The referee blows his whistle and Martin Wood gets the game back underway then. Deep towards that try line in the bottom corner. Whitehaven just working their way up to the 20-metre line. 2 tackles used as they do so. Friend has the man running up as the dummy, but Keighley not taking it at the moment. Loose forward Graham Morton has to settle for the tackle just outside his own 20-metre line. Big hit there by Ian Gately on his opposite number 10. Dave Kendall and Friend being ushered towards the touchline but missed. Friend eventually tackled 30 metres out. Missed by Steve Hall, I think it was. Oh, and a knock on there by John Routledge. Just a bit annoyed with himself. It was the last tackle though. The handover takes place. And it's Moses onto Stevenson. You're going to have to take the ball in yourself there, Phil, because the setup hadn't taken place behind you. And Steve Hall then settling play down, getting back towards the halfway line. Kendall and Hetherington making sure he didn't get any further as Brendan Hill burst through the far side. Greg Austin sniffing outside him, but unable to get the ball away was Hill. Puts the ball, gets a penalty for being laid on, and applies the right boot to the ball into touch. Well, I don't think Martin was right happy about that, just pointing the finger at Brendan. He's saying, that's my job, sunshine. Yours is just to go on the wing and score the tries. I don't think that'll affect Brendan. The ball went safely into touch. Might have been a different story had he not done so. And Appleby then on to Hall. Hall just setting things up in front of those Whitehaven Warriors posts. Slowly to his feet. Moses out to Gately. Gately taking the ball to the defence and to that Whitehaven try line. Moses had a hell of a job getting there. Ian Gately, atrocious play of the ball there as Appleby steps away from the tackler. Clayton Friend doing the initial stopping, assisted by 2 other defenders. And it's Moses, Brendan Hill in. And again, nobody stops him from that distance. Really the Whitehaven defence not picking him up. They've no chance of picking him up, Darryl.
No, he saw the gap, John. They went down low. They were not going to knock him off by going low. Kept setting the gravity down. Excellent try.
Well, he scored the last try in the first half, and he scored the opening try in the second half. Meantime, over on the far touchline side, Andy Ayres just running up and down, keeping loose. He hasn't got his coat off, so I'm not really sure whether he's preparing to come on or not. But he's certainly stretching off, and Brendan goes over to the stand there,
Then for the kill.
acknowledging the accolade from the crowd in the stand. some of the directors, the Whitehaven directors, not really taking the place, just coming back to the stand now. Or maybe they're the sponsors, but whoever they are, they've missed that try. We saw it. John Basil looks to convert it. But hooks it. $22 points to 16. Not only are Whitehaven facing the slope here, they're also into a very strong autumnal sun, which is straight into their eyes. And I feel sure that the Keighley kicker Martin Wood will be aware of that. Referee yet again acknowledging the fact that his name, unfortunately, A. Burke. But Alan, speaking to him before the game, said it didn't cause him any problems. Fed the information to our man on the tannoy, who, as you can hear, is having a field day with it. Meanwhile, it's Stevenson of the Andy variety getting back to the 20-metre line. And here's the other one, Phil Stevenson. Steve Hall now driving down the hill, looking for the 10 metres to the halfway line, finds it and passes it. Referee, I was going to say the referee, I wasn't going to say he was going to penalise for the laying on. I was just looking at the place he was standing in the defensive line of Whitehaven and possibly being a bit tolerant at the moment with the 10 metres, Daryl.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit short on this 10, John. He keeps stopping it down to 9, sometimes 8. Could do with opening it up again.
Meanwhile, Ian Gately, big charge towards the 20-metre line. Appleby on the ball, on to Steve Hall. Steve Hall looking now, looking to see where it's happening. The switch happens again. Appleby looking for Greg Austin. He missed him though, unfortunately. John Vasilou dived on the ball, but unfortunately pulled it back. So we've got a scrum down. He pulled it back, but he pulled it forward, if you see what we mean. He was facing away from the Whitehaven try line, but certainly the switch on there, in search of Greg Austin, coming through, as his name implies, like a rocket, but just that little bit too fast on that occasion. Meantime, Whitehaven have the ball, 22 metres from their own line, as Dave Lightfoot gets up and plays it. Out to this side. The Cougars hunting in a pack over this side, though. Looking for the ball, looking for the man with the ball. Ball switched inside there, it's Reg Dunn. Dunn appealing to the referee there that he wasn't very happy with what went on, but a tremendous tackle there by a combination with Martin Wood and Brendan Hill. Friend moving the ball across the centre of the park there. But the man in possession, well met, well tackled by Gately and Stevenson. And out then for Friend. All he's left with is to put the ball upfield. Well, did it hit the ball? Did it hit the foot? No, says the referee. Yes, it does now. Hit the hand first and then the foot. Initially giving the play on, obviously. Thought initially perhaps saying play on in case Whitehaven could gain an advantage, but when he saw they weren't going to get that advantage, he called for the knock on, and we go to scrum 20 metres out from the Keighley line. Clayton Friend, the Whitehaven scrum half, feeds, and it comes out to number 5 Routledge. Routledge moved into the centre of the park, and this is David Seeds, the centre, and that's the opposite centre, Mike Petchy. And Reg Dunn gets the ball out there to Hetherington, just inside the Keighley 20-metre area. Keighley need to keep the pressure on this here now and keep the defence sure. Dave Kendall almost through. But Friend again, spreading the ball out there to Routledge, who's definitely operating in the stand-off position. The second narrower there, losing the ball. Graham Luthwaite, Steve Hall, putting out an almost indeterminable length of arm there to recover it. And Ian Gately certainly taking a lot of punishment, taking the ball up a lot, and certainly being on the receiving end of some quite heavy treatment from 2 at least, and sometimes 3 Whitehaven tacklers. He'll know he's been in the game tomorrow morning, but I don't think that'll bother him as Appleby goes down, looks for Austin. The ball being a poor pass, I think, there really from Darren Appleby, just asking a little bit too much of Greg Austin. He was well covered by the Whitehaven defence. John Vasilow picking the bits up, the crowd not liking the knock-on decision, but that's what it was, Darrell.
Yeah, it was knock-on there, John. Darren shouldn't have given it there. He'd done it once and gone through a gap, and then gave it after he shoot, but he shouldn't have done. You know, Greg went there, ready to back him up once Darren went again.
Graham Luthwaite then, the number 11, leaving the field as Kurt Sorensen comes back on, out to this wingman. In fact, the standoff who's come out on the wing, Mark Beckwith, and certainly he wore the number 5 shirt last week for Whitehaven. Graham Morton tackled 10 metres inside the Keighley half. There's no full-back in position at the moment. Sorensen driving up the hill. He's had a rest on the bench. He's come back to try and inject a little bit of extra enthusiasm into this Whitehaven side as Friend gets the ball. Friend gets the ball away, but it's only away to Greg Austin. Greg Austin's going down into the corner of the field. Sniffing in the line as usual, Greg Austin. You can't put wayward passes out like that, Clayton Friend, and hope to get away with it. It was wayward, and Greg Austin was on the end of it, Darrell. Splendid try.
Excellent try, that Geordie saw it all the way there, did Greg. He did enough to score there, into the corner. What he does is sniffs, like he said, he sniffs in the line. Sometimes he's offside. I don't think he was that time. But if you get away with it, you get away with it.
Certainly do, and he's a pass master at that. We've seen a number of tries this season from Greg sniffing in the line. And away to the half, to the corner. 10 minutes into the second half, a second Cougar try in this half. And the reintroduction of Kurt Sorensen to his side is there. He's telling them what to do, but I don't think words can replace the mistake of a pass like that from Clayton Friend, unfortunately for them.
We'd like to congratulate Brian and Bernadette Coppin on their silver anniversary today from all the lads. That's to Brian and Bernadette Coppin. Silver anniversary, all the very best.
John Vasilow then 5 metres in from the touchline side. No, said the crowd. John just having a little bit of difficulty with his kicking this afternoon. Not as well, Brendan Hill being substituted now. He's applauding the crowd. The crowd applaud him. And I'll tell you what, Darrell, I reckon these lads in blue, white and gold will be glad to see the back of him.
Certainly will, John, yeah. 1 or 2 right smiles there from him. They're quite happy about him getting off.
Restarting then by Tyra. Down the throat of Carlton Farrell. Carlton striding across, gets away from the first tackler, decides to straighten up. Paul Moses. Steve Hall tackled just outside his own 20-metre area. On to Phil Stevenson. 30 metres out, Moses acting half-back. Tackle completed there by Sorensen and Creary. And it's the big fella Gately striding down this touchline side in search of the halfway line. And Moses once more out to Wood. Wood puts the ball across. He had a quick look there and in fact almost ignored the fact that David Seeds was coming onto him. And a pedantic Whitehaven defence there being left stranded. Sean Tyra looked a bit as though it might have been a knock on there by John Routledge. Not so, says the referee. Scooped the ball round as he went to pick it up. Clayton Friend then out there to number 10. I thought, he hasn't gone off. It's Graham Luthwaite who left the field. Number 10, Dave Kendall. Clayton Friend just been his intentions of setting up there being interfered with a little bit by Kurt Sorensen. Finishing up with Reg Dunn having to take the ball, and it's Friend once more moving the ball out to this side. Ball push back inside. I don't think the Whitehaven players knew what was happening there, but the ball went inside. David Lightfoot had to pick it up with some 27 metres from the Whitehaven line. It's the last tackle rather, down there. Wayne Race allows the ball to bounce. The vagaries of the funny shaped ball there, showing that you should never really let the ball bounce. Wayne though getting away with it as Stevenson this time going again from acting half, almost to the halfway line. And it's Moses on to Ayres. Ayres runs round with Appleby. Andy Ayres is going through though. There's a lot of Whitehaven defenders. A lovely ball out there to John Basilou. What a peach of a pass from Andy Ayres. He's just taken the field. He's split the defence apart. And a splendid ball out to John Basilou to finish.
Yeah, I think I'd have been on the park another 10 minutes. He'd have scored himself there, John. He hadn't quite stretched open enough yet, but found John Basilou there with an excellent pass. The pass of the day so far.
Johnny was the man from Laramie. Johnny Basilou. And the end.
Well, I don't know where the Tannoy man gets them from. I didn't think even he was old enough to remember Jimmy Young. Or is it Jimmy Young? I've no doubt he'll tell us. John Basilou then, the amusement apart, following that splendid try, the entertainment in between the try and the goal kick. John then looking to launch the ball between the posts. No, just faded away, but certainly approaching them better. Six tries then so far for Keighley. 26 points to 6 the scoreboard reads. And it's Sean Tyrer to restart again for Whitehaven. Carlton Farrell found once again, but on the bounce as it was that time. Certainly got a knack of finding Carlton Farrell with these restarts, Sean Tyrer, Darrell.
Certainly has, John. I think every time he's kicked off, he's found Carlton. Must be have a flag on his head or something like that to point him out to.
Meantime, 30 metres out then as Phil Stevenson settles play down once more for the Cougars as Steve Hall comes through the middle. The arm from Reg Dunn rested round the shoulders. Not attracting the attentions of Mr. Burke as Martin Wood again looks for the place where the wingman is. The ball staying infield very, very well there. All on, says the referee. John Basilou just waits for Tyrer to come to him. And it's coming out across the park there. Stevie Hall just reaching for the man in possession. Unable to get him. It's John Routledge being driven back towards his own post. Stevenson releasing him. Sorensen burst through the tackle there, but the ball lost. The ball lost in the tackle as Sorensen tried to offload, but again Stevie Hall there not making the tackle. Darrell, we've seen one or two missed ones from Steve this afternoon, following on a superb display at Doncaster last week. We've not seen much of him. We've certainly seen one or two mistakes from him, I should say. Maybe he's not used to wearing anything but 15.
Yeah, it could be that, John. You know, a full game does take it out of you when you're used to half games. You know, I think really ought to be doing a bit more training.
Ayres noticeably in the pack at loose forward, breaking from the scrum there as the ball came out. As Steve Hall now taking the ball up, taken round the top area by Gary Hetherington. The referee, the crowd behind the post not liking it. The referee not bothered too much as Ayres steps, gets the ball out, gives it away because it went across the face. He was looking for somebody, whoever it was that he didn't find, and now it's Whitehaven looking to break out. Kurt Sorensen getting the ball off there. Whitehaven running out to supporting players as it's Petchy gets the ball away. Whitehaven stepping, looking, throwing the ball away. Dave Lightfoot that time, 6s and 7s. And this time the tackle wrapped up just inside the Whitehaven half of the field. But certainly Whitehaven at 6s and 7s with themselves there. Reg Dunn taking the ball in, Stevenson doing the tackling. Nice offload there to Hooker Creary. 10 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. Friend goes, threatened to go on his own. Routledge gets the ball out. Certainly one or two tackles not being missed but not being made by Keighley at the moment. And Whitehaven just having a little bit more freedom than they've been used to. Sorensen now. Oh, splendid tackle there by Stevenson on Sorensen as he ambled across the back of his own players. And Keighley's Greg Austin there caught offside. Sniffing again in the line, just a little bit too far forward for Mr. Burke's liking, and that ball played to himself by, I think it's Tyra, going on his own. Well, Mr. Burke penalised oh, that's got to be wrong because every player was on the Keighley try line. Every player of Keighley was on the try line. The ball was played. They came forward and did the tackling. I don't see what's wrong with that, Daryl.
No, John, there might have been players in front of it, but the quick tap. If a player takes a quick tap, once the referee blows up, the referee didn't mark the mark of anything like that. He just blew up. The player took a quick tap. To me, he plays everybody on once he does that. He's trying to gain advantage.
Meantime, Sorensen taking the ball towards the Keighley try line in the shade of the garage. Friend chips the ball through. Martin Wood drops on it, does he? No, he doesn't. He drops on it, but Friend regathers. It's back to one again. Routledge acting half back, tries to go on his own. Certainly not big enough to get through the arms of Steve Hall and Martin Wood. Friend out to the far side. That's Routledge. Loses the ball. Now then, that ball might have just had a hand on it, but there's a knock on both ways. It's a scrum down on the 10 metre line. It should be Keighley head and feed. It is indeed. Scrum then forms on that 10 metre line. It's waiting for Keighley's feed. Meantime, Whitehaven substituted Clayton Friend. They brought Graham Luthwaite back on. Can't understand what they've done with Clayton Friend to get rid of him. But a knock on there against Darren Appleby behind the back of the pack. The last thing you do, we saw Darren make a similar mistake, in fact, when he didn't, well, not a similar mistake, but a mistake in defence when he didn't take a ball cleanly at Doncaster last week in this very similar position, 15 metres or so out. Whitehaven though now coming forward. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Greg Austin almost got that ball as I think it was Michael Petchy. We'll see in a minute when he turns. It was indeed Michael Petchy who dropped the ball. Greg not able to take advantage of it, knocked on as well. And the game just a wee bit scrappy at the moment. Been no continuity, Darryl.
Yeah, Keighley know they've got it won, John, provided they don't go out stupid. They're winning 30 points for 6, games in the bag, just take it steady. And Whitehaven, they just try to salvage a bit of pride.
Martin Wood then getting away from the first tackle. 7 or 8 metres from the halfway line. On then to Ayres, Ayres to Appleby, Appleby on to Stevenson. Stevenson looked to switch the ball back to Greg Austin, instead takes the ball into the opposition's half of the field himself. It's Vassalou going on his own, working infield. Tackled in fact by Routledge. And Appleby searches for the big fella Gately. Gately in on the end of it, and well, the referee I think is going to penalise Kurt Sorensen there for what might really only be described as a tap around the ear holes, because it wasn't good enough to be classed as a punch, Darryl.
Not really, John. We'll just have to wait and see what Alan says about it. He's going to have a word with him. He's stopping it for blood bin as well for one at Whitehaven, for Kurt Sorensen. So maybe Kurt caught something in it as well.
We'll wait and see whether in fact it's a stop for a penalty or whether it's a stop for a blood bin substitution. I think the referee's probably told Keighley they've got a penalty.
It looks like they've been talking about a contract because Big Ben's coming back on.
Ian Gately being substituted, Brendan Hill coming back. Tremendous game though, a game by Ian Gately. He's played 63 minutes. Brendan Hill's had a rest on the bench. Certainly a good game by Ian Gately, Darrell.
Excellent game, John. He's run the ball in really well today. He's been at the wrong end of a few high tackles, but he's taken them all. Excellent game from him.
Yeah, particularly when you think back to the very beginning of the game, he got quite a crack around the head very early doors. He was looking very slow, getting back to the scrum, obviously suffering from it, and yet gone 63 minutes and put in a tremendous work rate. Love to see the tackle count, but wouldn't be surprised if he isn't up at the top or thereabouts. John Vassalou then with the resulting penalty for the indiscretion by Kurt Sorensen. 30 metres out, almost straight in front. Through the centre, got his boots back on.
Kicking for you.
£32-6 then, as we've got 65 minutes on the clock, 15 minutes left. Missed Carlton Farrell that time. Andy Stevenson, the man taking the ball. This is Carlton Farrell taking the drive in. Slowly to his feet, Moses on to Stevenson. Stevenson steps inside, gets away, looks for the offload. Andy Ayres is there, out to Greg Austin. Austin's got 2-1 with Vassalou. Vassalou comes back inside, steps the fullback. Oh, I thought he was going to step the fullback, but he had different ideas, or the man in the fullback position, I should say. Paul Moses, though, barging and driving his way towards the 10-metre line, being laid all over. Kurt Sorensen lucky, I think, to probably get away with that, but the Cougars launch the attack. Martin Wood switches inside to Appleby. Brendan Hill in position there to take the ball, but Carlton Farrell now steps over. It's Andy Ayres puts the ball between the defenders, and it's safely taken there. The sun not taking too much account of the thing there as it went up in the air. The ball went up in the air. Whitehaven taking it quite safely and confidently, looking to bring the play away up this wing side. Not getting past Nick Pinkney and Andy Stevenson though. And Whitehaven looking to get away from their own 10-metre line. Meantime, there's a player down of Keighley over the far side, and Paul Moses it is, just having a bit of treatment. The last tackle coming up, I thought the referee had already signalled last tackle. The referee though says it was a knock-on. Not really sure what quite's happened. There's a substitution taking place. Paul Moses going to have to leave the field, I think. Keith Dixon going to come back on. The referee just asking for a sponge on Phil Stevenson's face.
Is Keith Dixon for Paul Moses. Hopefully Paul Moses.
Captain for the moment, Paul Moses then leaving the field. Substituted Keith Dixon returns.
Paul Moses coming up, Moses.
And it's Appleby then gets the ball out to Brendan Hill. Brendan Hill not in the scrum, playing in some other position at the moment as Austin gets the ball out to race. Keighley's got the numbers. Martin Wood, oh, give the ball Martin. Nick Pinkney's in at the corner. Lovely finish there. Well timed, well delayed pass there by Martin Wood. Drew the defence to perfection. Give the ball out to Nick Pinkney. Splendid try once more.
Nick Pinkney.
John Vassalou then, he's preparing to convert the Nick Pinkney try. Not really sure what did happen there, but certainly everybody seemed to shuffle about in the pack as Keith Dixon came on as a substitution for Paul Moses. Everybody shifted up one. Keith Dixon went in at loose forward and left Brendan Hill stranded at standoff. Well, he's played a few positions, but I don't think standoff's one of them. But you never know what happens down here at Keighley. John Basileau then, no, just not even getting the distance that time.
The Cougars man of the match today, if you didn't know, it's Big Bren Gunner, Brendan Hill.
And Brendan Hill again chosen as man of the match for the Cougars. Rather early with still 10 minutes to go, anything can happen yet. Although I don't think anybody can deny the effort and the effect that Hill's had on this game this afternoon. Stevenson then coming back in.
The man of the match sponsor there was
18 yards from the Keighley try line as they come forward in search of the halfway line and who knows the Whitehaven try line once more. Run round there with Dixon and Appleby. Hill coming through the centre. Offloads to Steve Hall. Steve Hall tackled as he came through. And it's Dixon once more onto Appleby. Appleby misses the waiting hands of Hill as he suggested perhaps he ought to have the ball. And it's out then to Wood. Wood on to Wayne Race. Oh, Stevenson doing well to regather, and not only that, make the yards as well. Thought perhaps that ball was going to ground, and I'm sure many others did as well, but Phil Stevenson had different ideas as that ball looks for the touchline side, finds it from the left boot of Keith Dixon.
Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors.
Putting Whitehaven under pressure back in this bottom corner. It's their head and feed, but I think when you look at those expressions on the faces of the front row there of Whitehaven, it says it all. Beckwith feeds the scrum. Gone to scrum half, of course, because of the substitution to Clayton Friend. Routledge gets the ball out the far side. Ball knocked forward, does it? And it's a try. The referee looks to his touch judges. The referee's looking to his touch judge. He's not going to say it's wrong. Must have had a hand in it, Mr. Whitehaven player there. And who's the man on the end of it again?
Yeah, it's a good try that, John. Good bit of referee in there because he didn't give the decision straight away. Contacted his touch judge. Touch judge confirmed, not wrong with it. Try it is. Just a point, Alan, that'll cost you a pint.
Greg Austin, the Rocket Man, 3 tries. And they're all Cougar tries.
John Basileau then still searching for that elusive goal from the far side of the field this afternoon. No, the crowd behind shield their eyes, but their arms don't go up in salute. Phil certainly may just be having a bit of practice during the coming week in kicking from that far side of the field or even from wide out, but only 4 conversions, 8 tries, and one of those goals rather coming from a penalty, just the 3 conversions. Carlton Farrell again, found not to be wanting, but found by the ball. Perhaps Sean Tarrant himself are having a bit of an affair and he's just making sure he gives him his fair share of the ball. Stevenson slow to get to his feet there, fortunately not injured. Thought he might just be feeling the effects of the back injury he received last week at Doncaster. Not the case. Steve Hall doing well to take that ball from Keith Dixon. and Hall going in search of the tacklers there as he went towards the 10 metres from halfway point. Dixon, ball out there. Appleby pushes the ball out there. Nick Pinkney steps down the outside, needs to come in field, does so quite well, secures the ball, asking to get up please if he can. Out then to Appleby. Appleby puts the boot to the ball, chased by David Sees, but it's a tremendous kick. I think touched there by Martin Wood. Not counting that tackle, quite correct, according to Darrell. Them not having been able to take advantage of the point where Keighley, in fact, did get a hand to the ball as it came up in the air, as it was put up in the air. Sorensen driving up 10 metres from the halfway line. And Whitehaven coming through the centre of the park. And coming out this way, the substitute Gary Hetherington there, making the halfway line before being tackled. Down to 4.5 minutes from the final whistle, plus any stoppage time that the timekeepers had on. Ball being unintentionally offloaded there. John Basilou doing a juggling act there, unable to secure it. Whitehaven regather, and that I think will be a count back when the ball eventually settles. The referee says that was the first tackle, the fingers in the air to indicate to everybody who's looking and taking notice. And Greg Austin does the tackling there as the Whitehaven player just gets into the Keighley half of the field. A knock on there though by Whitehaven. The Whitehaven player, I think, well, I don't know what happened there. I thought perhaps caught a knee as he went through on the as he was being tackled. Certainly didn't look to be anything intentional, but the referee's penalised Keighley down.
Yeah, it's penalised Keighley. It's penalised Brendan, I think, for passing off the floor. Should have played the ball.
Right, so nothing at all to do with it. I certainly didn't see anything to cause Paul Crady's injury intentionally. Your eyes certainly seeing that one as I was watching to the injured player, and the penalty being given for passing off the floor instead of playing the ball. 20 metres out then from the Keighley line. Ball thrown across field. Oh, knock on twice there, I think. The referee just waiting to look for the advantage for Andy Ayres, possibly to get the advantage. And Whitehaven in all sorts of problems, having all sorts of trouble here. Not only on the end of a 40 points to 6 scoreline, but not able to hold onto the ball when they have it in the hands either. Brendan Hill now taking his place back in the front row. Keighley pushed off that ball. Indeed they were.
That was because Pack wasn't settled at all there, John. Brendan arrived late, trying to sort something out behind the pack. Someone went down, the ball in, but Whitehaven was settled and pushed him off.
Player then some 20 metres out, played there, it's Hooker Creary. Looking to offload there as he was tackled twice, in fact, looking to offload. Sorensen finding himself in the acting half position. On there to Hetherington. Graham Luthwaite just having a hand in the operation there. Luthwaite going on his own from acting half back in search of the try line. It's the last one coming up, says the referee. Right in the corner of the field as the ball goes out, the kick goes forward and the ball goes dead. In fact, the ball going dead via a Keighley hand. And certainly the chase being put on there by the man who did the kicking, I think John Routledge, yes it was, putting pressure on the Keighley defenders, forcing them to put the ball dead themselves, and the subsequent drop out from under the post there from Keith Dixon. Fullback Lightfoot taking the ball onto David Seeds. He's looking for a way through, and he manages to find Brendan Hill, and Brendan Hill penalised for not releasing in the tackle. And it's Sean Tyder then to put the ball into touch on the far side of the field, again on that 20 metre line, just inside the 20 metre line, and it's Hooker Paul Creary to restart for Whitehaven. Reg Dunn, the man coming in, driving, looking, searching. In fact, I don't know what the referee's given here. I think he's giving a penalty perhaps to Keighley, is he? Don't really know what's happened there, Del, do you?
No, I'm just waiting to see his signal, Johnny. Blow up. I think he thought that the Whitehaven player had passed.
Maybe not. There's a player down on the floor injured as well. Or may just well have stopped to call a halt so that the injured player can be attended to. We'll see in a minute.
The Academy on Wednesday night. Don't forget, Wednesday night the Academy will be here playing Salford. Thank you, John. In the commentary box, you got Sheffield Eagles. It's Salford they're playing. That's the Academy Wednesday night at 7:30. Very important game, so support the lads Wednesday night.
Well, it's a head and feed there to Sheffield. Not really sure. Sorry, to Sheffield. We've got Sheffield on the brain at the moment. It's Whitehaven we're playing. They need to put the man to the ground, Martin, not just shoulder him there. Fortunately, he surrendered eventually, did Hetherington. And we're right on 40 minutes now. 40 minutes gone into stoppage time as well. The try given there, reaching through. Rather disappointing there. Keighley just asleep. They've got the advantage on the scoreboard, but a bit disappointing that, Darrell, to allow a soft try at this stage of the game. I think 40 points to 6. Obviously, the game won. David Seed scoring, seeing the gap, but you've got to ask Keighley, really. They shouldn't have done that, should they?
No, Johnny, you don't let a soft try in any time of the game, certainly not in the last minute. You know, I think, like you say, Keighley, no, they've got the game won, but the crowd's gone, the atmosphere's gone. I don't know today, they seem to have died on us, but you don't let tries in like that.
No, Seed's scoring that try. It's only the second one this afternoon for Whitehaven, the other one coming in the first half from Sean Tyler, which he converted. They were looking to add the X's on this. And this afternoon, just a bit disappointed by some of the Whitehaven supporters behind those posts there, trying to break the flagpoles. Tyler successfully converts. He's got all the Whitehaven points. And the tries this afternoon for Cougars coming a hat-trick there for Greg Austin. We've had 2 for Nick Pinkney, 1 for John Basilou, a couple for that big man Brendan Hill with a number 8 shirt on, and we've also had 4 John Basilou goals. 40 points to 12 at the moment. Keith Dixon restarting well inside stoppage time now. 2 minutes played. As Darrell says, the crowd has died on Keighley at the moment. But I feel sure when that final siren goes, they'll certainly be cheering the players off the field. There goes the siren. Keighley have won. They've certainly made amends for the defeat here last season by Whitehaven. As Darrell said before the game, they put it out of the mind. They put it out of the mind. As announcer Mick O'Neill says, Whitehaven have been Cougarised. Certainly a good game, Darrell. Decent crowd of 3,150 odd. Had a good entertainment as far as Keighley are concerned, not so much for the Whitehaven supporters.
No, good game, Johnson. Good tries, let's say 8 tries. Good footballing. They died a little bit at back end there, but you can't keep going for 80 minutes, or you should do, but we're not doing. Sort that out.
A week off then next week. It's the Wembley Test, Great Britain and New Zealand. The week after that, home game here at Cougar Park. Swinton are the visitors. We'll be here. We hope you join us live. If not, buy the tapes.